My name is Claude Fidelin. By day, I like to say that I'm a corporate executive here in the Netherlands, and by night, I'm the Black Negotiator. So that's something I started about 10 years ago, and my mission is really about how to become the person with the most positive impact on the Black community in Europe. A recent example of something I really liked was someone in the US who just said, I want to create 2 million Black millionaires. And I was like, wow, I like that. Now, how can I think about something like this that is not just about the money, it's not about me, but it's about the impact on the community. And I do believe that through wealth, especially, the Black community will have more of a voice, more influence, more power, and will be able to own a lot more of our own future. So when we think about the limiting belief, especially for Black people in Europe, I believe a lot come from the context and from our environment. If I take my specific example, my mom from the French Caribbean came at a very young age in France, and she didn't have that many opportunities available to her. She did the best that she could, and she did great. She became a nurse, she had a vocation, meaning, she bought her house, she did really good. However, the reality is even when you do very good, most of the time it's not as good as people who already live in that city, inherited a house in a neighborhood that keep appreciating and that are already connected to a lot of opportunities and can just offer and aim for different things. So there was this tough moment where I had to realize that it doesn't matter how much my environment, my family, my friends loved me and supported me, I needed to have resources available to me in form of people, connection, opportunities, resources that will help me achieve some of the targets I set for myself. So it's the moment I realize, hey, there's one path. Which path do I want to follow? Which one makes sense for me? Which one will give me the resources I want to achieve what I believe we should all be, at least have the choice to decide this is what I want to do or that's not what I want to do. I don't think people should just decide for us that you grew up in this area of France or whatever big city and therefore you're supposed to do this. I don't like people deciding for me. Because imagine I came from a neighborhood where I was the majority, or like the minorities were the majority. To take the train, go underground, other side of Paris, come out, everybody's white. I go to my class, there's 3 Black people out of 250, something like this. So virtually everybody's white. Everybody talks differently, everybody have different habits. They love to go to like terraces and have coffee. I never went on the terrace or had coffee. We were like on the parking lot with my friends. So it's a whole different world. And of course, some people like we didn't integrate with, but also realized that there were other people that I could totally integrate with, even though they didn't come from the same background than I was. And having this recognition early that even though I don't fit in, I can find people I fit in that have the same interests and connect on a different level. Set your goals and don't get influenced by what you see around you or what you believe is important. So I was talking to one of the founders of a streetwear brand in France, and he was telling me how, coming from a working class and getting these messages on TV again and again that, the Black person in the movie is the drug dealer, or the Black person in the movie is the one going to jail, or the Black person in the movie is the one dying first. All those type of messages impact in some ways your self-worth, and what's immediate to you to increase your self-worth when I grew up was your car, the car and the sound system that you have in your car. And that helps your image, that makes you feel good about yourself. We all want that part, but it limits your options. Those things make you spend money and don't build for you for the long term. So I really believe in set up what is important for you in your life don't care about what people think you should do. In my case, I always thought that people thought, I'm black, I should be playing basketball, and I should like this, and I should like that. And suddenly I was like, and it was late, but I was like, why am I doing things for other people if this is not really what I want to do? So I like baking. My mom was baking a lot. I like baking. I'm going to bake. I wanted to play golf. I can be black and play golf. I know I like kickboxing. Like, those things can come together. Like, nobody has to decide for you what you like or what you don't like. And suddenly, even more when you think about finances. Unfortunately, coming from a working class and with the network we had, nobody was really there to educate me on finances. The stuff where my mom was really good is savings and not to be in debt. I've never been in debt, my mom never been in debt, we're just super rigorous on that. However, this is a trait of the working class. We focus on savings, not spending, like being safe. And of course, when you cross the Atlantic over 3 weeks to come and walk and you really struggle, of course you want to maintain what you have. Whereas the more affluent part of the population is focusing on investing, on growing. And the reality is the stock market, the investment, real estate, all those stuff have been going up for a long, long time. All rich people, all wealthy people will always have the same. They invest in the stock market, they invest in the real estate. It's no surprise that if you don't do that, you can't catch up. So that's where I really like this idea of saving is great. How do you take this power and also translate it into investing and creating the life that you want for yourself? Not what anyone else thinks you should do, the life you want for yourself. So my goal is one day I want to have the money that means I can do whatever I want when I wake up in the morning. I wake up in the morning, like, oh, I want to go to the beach. I want to go to the beach. So that's my goal. And then with my wife, we're having conversation on, hey, what do you want to do? Where do you want to live? What type of lifestyle? What type of impact? What type of work? So we really design our life in a very, very clear way. South of France, what part of South of France? What type of house? Everything. And we start getting this picture of, oh, this is how much it would cost, this is what it takes and everything. Like, great, I have my target. Now, to reach my target, it's how much I save, but also how much I invest and how much I spend. Therefore, if I want to get to my target in 10 years, it's aggressive, I'm going to save a lot more. I'm not going to have no Netflix account. I'm going to have ads when I listen to music online. I'm going to go really rock bottom, save a lot, and invest a lot at the same time. If I'm not in a rush, it's fine. And maybe also you can realize that I just want to retire in 2 years. Maybe you need to go to a different country, a cheaper country. But really set your goal and walk according to that goal, because otherwise I think you can get trapped in, I want more money, but you don't even know what money you want for. And as a result, you just end up giving up and just spending the money on a new car, on a new TV. And you won't get to investing in growth and wealth through that approach. So one thing I like when you think purely on investment and money, I love money because it does not discriminate. The principle of money are going to be the same for everyone. So for that, I will just recommend the usual books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all those type of books, Tony Robbins, Money Master the Game. Just go with the fundamentals and keep it simple. Another key rule I saw just this morning was, it's not so much about winning big sometimes, it's about consistently winning. I think we always see example of like, oh, someone invested in Bitcoin and they made 2 times or 3 times their money last year. Yeah, that's cute, but I bet you that my 10 years invested at 15% in something quite standard is most likely going to beat your lucky shot on Tesla or your lucky shot on whatever. So it doesn't discriminate. Look at the standards, what's available out there, and be consistent. I mean, if you can learn from someone else who made mistakes, go for it. I would recommend meetup groups, all those type of online forums where people exchange and share tips and what's worked, what hasn't worked for them. I think that's a great starting point. However, I still believe you need to put some of your own money. The way you're going to behave when it's your own money is different than when it's not your own money. And you can see it with my personal experience. There were always like trading platforms back in the days that would just give you a fake portfolio and you invest it and you will see how it works. I was great at it. It wasn't real money, so I would make good decisions and I would be relaxed and everything. Suddenly you put your own money and then it drops by 1%. And you're like, oh, I'm losing money, let me sell. And then it goes back up, and then it's up, and you buy, and then it goes back up. Then you just don't realize what type of investor you are until it is your real money. So I'm not saying, hey, put 1 million and learn, but hey, put 100, put 1,000. Do it. I bet you're going to go on the brokerage platform and it will tell you, oh, you want to buy. Which option do you want to buy? This one, options, calls, this. I'll be like, I don't know. Google every single one of the term. Now you have that. When it goes up, how do you feel? When it goes down, how do you feel? Do you feel stress? If you're stressed, it probably means you need to invest in something a bit more stable that will not stress you out so much. If you like it and keep an eye on it, good, keep going. But just learn about yourself. What I'm saying is, I've been learning on investment for the past 10 years, so I started quite late in my life. But the speed of learning is absolutely insane, and it's the best investment to invest in yourself, for sure. So specifically for the African diaspora, how to invest and how to get started, I'll go first with the mindset, because I think the mindset is super important, where you may want to accumulate wealth, but you can also see directly in your environment people who could use this money today. Not the money that you'll make later, but could use the money today. So how to find the right balance with that? We're all different. We all have our priorities. I would suggest you need to find your priorities. Again, think about your end goal and where you want to be. I think from there, take it step by step and educate yourself. I can't tell you what to do, I can tell you what not to do. Don't go to a bank, hope to put your money in the bank, and the bank will manage it the best way for you. Nobody is going to manage your money better than you will manage it yourself. Don't look at getting rich fast. There have been scams on getting rich fast for thousands of years. This is not new. Don't fall for that. That does not exist. You may know one person who did, but for one person, there will be thousands of people that did not make it. So avoid the banks, avoid trying to get rich fast. Just focus on learning and having a good strategy and sticking to your strategy, because you'll be amazed. I would love to see more Black networks that think around investments, where to invest, and maybe like impact investment, because one part I'm frustrated about sometimes, and I need to do a lot more efforts, is could I invest more of my money in African businesses or in different countries in Africa that just have really good ideas and high growth and high potential, how to do a little bit more of that. But right now, I haven't totally found this yet, but I encourage people to educate themselves. All the information is available, and avoid the common traps that will just not work for you long term. My favorite book, but it's a little bit of a thick book, is definitely Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins. It explains things so clearly. It's just shocking. It's super simple. Other people that like more like the YouTube like videos and things like this told me there's loads of great influencers that actually know what they're talking about out there in every single country. So also to follow them. I'm focusing a lot more on the FIRE way of living, like the financial independence and retiring early. That's what I like. And everything related to FIRE online, I just feel like it's been giving me very consistent easy to apply methods. Again, nobody's financial advisor, so we can't give financial advice, but they have very clear and simple approaches. Most people feel like it's too simple and you can't make money with simplicity. They've made a lot of money with simplicity. They sleep super well at night and they know it's going to work out. So just take the time, and there's loads of information. Just don't focus on trying to get rich fast. You need to get rich consistently and you will make it habit. Save money, 20% of your salary, save it. Don't get used to spend that money. Save it immediately, automatic. Your salary come, 20% go, you never see it, you're not bothered about it. I think that's just key. And invest it. Invest it. And you will see automatically your lifestyle will change, your network will change. Because you're saving those 20% and you're investing, I guarantee that when you go to a party, who are you going to talk to? The other people that are also trying and investing and saving, or the people like me who spend all that time in a nightclub? You're going to gravitate towards a different type of people with a different lifestyle, with different values. They will share what worked for them, what didn't share for them. And that's the whole bit that I really missed early. And now I'm getting it. And my conversations are so rich. The stuff we learn, the people I meet people that have real ambitions in their life, who want to make real impact, that are taking steps, that have real strategies. Those are great people to be around, And it all started because I said, I'm going to invest the money, I'm going to learn. You can't just invest in something and not learn about it. I started investing in Bitcoin. You have to learn about Bitcoin. Suddenly you're learning about Bitcoin, you're meeting new people, new topic, new perspectives, new ways of thinking that I had never thought of. It's valuable. Even if I lose some money on Bitcoin, the learning is still super valuable, and then it opened up my mind on the whole new industry. Some people say Bitcoin, but I just realized with Bitcoin is just the beginning. There's a whole bunch of things behind it, and I don't know where it will go, but I'm super happy to get exposure and starting to ask questions about it. Many people will think that you're crazy if your goal is to become a millionaire. Point blank, they'll just be like, you can't be a millionaire. You're not going to make it. The scary part is so many people think that, whereas when you look at the numbers, it's actually not that difficult. Of course, you have to make some sacrifices and make decisions, but I can virtually guarantee to people, and you will see a blog post, you take the right steps, starting from as little as 80 euros per month when you just graduated, and keep building and having those good habits. Don't spend more than what you make. As you earn more money, don't spend more money, stay stable. You will make it, and it's just the beginning. And getting from 0 to 100,000 may take you 15 years, but going from 100,000 to $1 million can take you as little as 5 years. So it's unfair. We can go to school, we can be smart, we can have intellect, we can have everything, but we never taught about financial savviness, literacy. In my case, I have 1 master's in international commerce. I have an MBA with a focus on finance. I worked in a bank for 2 years. It actually just started learning about financial savviness 10 years after my MBA, when I started reading the right book and following the right people. And I was just like, wow, it's not even, I was not equipped with the math or the logic or the thinking to do it. I just wasn't taught. Just wasn't taught. And now I talk to people and I realize they were taught early. They're already financially independent. They're already coming to the office just because they want to come to the office, because they've got the money, then they know they're good. And I was like, how come you do? And my parents, that's the reason why very often business owners, the kids of business owners, are very savvy with finances because they live in that world and they see you buy, you sell, you need to be careful, you need to that, you don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, and especially when you think about the African diaspora, it's harder. We just didn't have, it was good for us to save, have a little bit of money on the side. That was success back in the days. I really want everybody to feel like success is what you decide to be. You want to be a millionaire or multi-millionaire, you can do it with the right steps.